Lady, what? Uh, it's been, at least a couple of days now, or maybe a little bit more, but I'm just now getting around to making a discussion video talking about the Wicked actress Cynthia Erivo's uh, pretty much clamoring for the role of Storm in the MCU. Now, I have some thoughts on that stuff, but before I continue, please like this video, leave a comment below, let me know what you guys think. Follow me in the links in the description, such as my YouTube and Patreon, and other links like Twitch and Twitter, etc. Now, I full disclosure, I didn't go see the Wicked movie. I heard it's great, not knocking it. Heard she was fantastic in it, not knocking that either. Clearly, she's a great actress and Broadway star. But it's just, Wicked or most Broadways is not really my thing. Not really. Can't really care. Bring myself to care. But doesn't negate the fact that it was very well approved by critics and audiences. Now that she and Ariana Grande is getting so much accolades, I mean, Ariana Grande was already a huge star, prior to this film. But this movie definitely, catapulted Cynthia Erivo to a different tier of fame. So much so, now I'm pretty sure she's going to be getting all kinds of calls for this, that, and the third for movie roles. But the biggest role she really seems to want is the role of Storm, the most iconic female hero of all time. And to quote Dr. Evil, how about no? It is like, no. Like, sure. Like, I'm not saying like she, not a good actress, because she is. But a few things. First and foremost, they trying to bring in the MCU, and they clearly need to start with a youngest newbies to fill in the roles and grow into them. Similar to how many examples of like people who was casted as Superman, or even Hugh Jackman started off pretty much a nobody before he got casted as Wolverine, and he just became that character. No matter what he does outside of Marvel, people will still always see him as the definitive Wolverine. But for the most part, people jumping into these roles need to be, that's what Marvel needed to get back to, is return to form of how like you kind of built a foundation, at least during phase 1 getting into 2. You hire relatively, fresh face actors. Well, maybe some high profile ones here and there, but by and large, there's relatively fresh face actors getting into these roles, growing into them, because this is like getting into these kind of contracts is going to be many years. You're going to be involved with the studio. So most people will want to start off with the X-Men to be relatively young, aside from maybe a couple like Magneto and Professor Xavier. Cynthia Erivo, currently I think she's like 38. So by the time Kevin Feige and Disney Marvel will get around to start really putting some work in with the mutants, she'll be approaching somewhere between 40 or 41. So she wouldn't be a good fit for that right off the bat with just that alone. Secondly, and this is something that we all are aware of, but I don't think she has the uh, mental or emotional fortitude to deal with Marvel fans. Because from what I'm hearing, she was pretty much kind of a diva on Broadway, which already that's points against you. But also the way I did a video about this when it happened, the way she reacted to those Broadway fans changing up the movie poster to reflect the Broadway poster, which was a nothing burger, actually kind of enhanced, fervor for the film. Like, people was clamoring to, more eager to go see it now. And it was only like a benefit, not a negative, but she took it as a negative. But she quickly kind of, backtracked, so it didn't blow up into. She didn't Rachel Zegler this thing, thank God. She quickly course correct within that same day. But it's just that quick reaction, and then her weird eyeball behavior with her and Ariana Grande on those press tours, holding each other's hands and acting like each other's, support animals or something. I don't know. She's very weird. And on top of that, she kind of looks malnourished. And she's like 5'1". So she doesn't even fit the look of Storm. Storm, don't know. I'm pretty sure Storm should be, I don't know, maybe around the same height as, I don't know, whatever height Jennifer Lawrence is. I think that is probably like the most appropriate height for Storm. But also, Storm has some bit of musculature to her. She ain't like, jacked to all hell, but she is fit. And Cynthia seems very malnourished. And I don't know. There's two other women who played Storm in the Fox Marvel universe. Now, technically part of the MCU, is Halle Berry and a lady from not First Class, but it was like a crap. Age of Apocalypse. She, looked pretty decent as Storm. Not perfect. I think, I don't know. It's just like picking poison of what parts that both those actresses did right and what they did wrong in when it comes to the character of Storm. So it wasn't like portraying the character perfectly. There's bits and pieces I like about what they each have brought to the game, and I still have a soft spot for Halle Berry Storm. She brought that character to life. In all fairness, to some extent, she kind of had to do away with that crappy African accent she tried to do, but it just did not work. But besides all that, Cynthia Erivo just isn't suited for this. And hopefully, the people behind all this will do all these casting for the mutants. Don't take her seriously, because Marvel needs to stop hiring just big name actors just to trick the audience that isn't like hardcore Marvel fans to just come to the theater to get butts and seats instead of just relying on the character itself and the quality of the writing. And it just becomes a detriment if you just only hire big name actors at least 90 to 95% of the time. Then it's like, oh, that's just so and so playing as Storm. Oh, that's just so and so playing as Nightcrawler. It's not gonna be as fun. Maybe every once in a while, like the first like phase 1 of the MCU, most of that cast we did not know about, and very little we do recognize. Robert Downey Jr., Sam Jackson, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, they're Gwyneth Paltrow, of course. Sure, they were recognizable in the first Avengers film. But everybody else, we didn't know about. We didn't know anything. I mean, of course, it's phase 1 in general. We didn't know anything about Chris Hemsworth prior to Thor, nor Tom Hiddleston. We didn't know anything about. That was definitely my first introduction to. Well, technically, that's not true. It's only just dawned on me a year or so ago. But Mark Ruffalo, this role of Hulk, definitely put his name on the map. But the first time I technically was first introduced to him was in the movie Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. But by the time I actually kind of locked in my brain, it was in the first Avengers film. So technically speaking, he was still relatively unknown, and it kind of helps with people's minds, easing them into the characters. Like, oh, this is the character. They can just bleed into the character. Cynthia Erivo, with a diva attitude, the way she behaves, on red carpets is kind of awkward, and then, kind of losing her cool over something, over like a poster. So, God help her if, somebody makes some kind of offhanded comment or a benign comment or some kind of design, because I wanted them to see the soles of my eyes and blah blah blah. It's like they will rake you over the coals, and like, do not pull any Rixel Zegler attitude. It's just unbecoming, and you're gonna end up costing the studio instead of benefiting them. No one wants to deal with scandals every time you guys open your mouth and trash stuff or lose your cool, that they'll have to rectify, or you have to do some kind of apology video or tweet or something like that because you lost your cool. I don't personally think she's gonna make a good, it's nothing confirmed. I'm just saying the fact that she even try to quote unquote manifest that, try to throw her name out there just to try to get, because clearly she was trying to get somebody in these studios to kind of pay attention to her. It's clever / not clever. It's like, she ain't the first one who tried a stunt like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people was like, we know what you're trying to do, trying to force essentially certain casting directors in Marvel to actually look at you directly. And it's like, I tell her to keep it pushing and try to find somebody new, because Cynthia ain't it. She just does not fit the look of Storm. She doesn't feel like Storm. Even despite some people's gripes with Halle Berry, she still kind of felt to a degree like Storm. At least to me, she definitely feels like Storm. And Storm has to be aesthetically pleasing to the face. She's just, kind of sort of like an African goddess, and Halle Berry was a good pick for her. She was still a big name at the time, but you know, she fit the look. And Cynthia Erivo, even if you put like a white wig on her, you can see like some AI generated images online because the internet don't miss. God, it looks horrible. It does not look good. She does not fit the part whatsoever. She should not even waste her breath because she was just, clearly she was trying to force some studio's hand into even, at the very least, getting her an audition, trying to get buzz around. Oh, this Cynthia Erivo chick, she was on Wiki and stuff. She's pretty hot right now. And she says she likes to be Storm. Let's take a look at her. It's like kind of overshadowing any other people who are auditioning right now that didn't get their big break. Cynthia, this is not for you. Don't involve yourself. I know as an actor you always want work and stuff like that, but you can get a myriad of things at this juncture. You don't need this. Give it, wait, allow somebody who's more qualified and look the part to fit this role as Storm. You do not. And I don't want to sound like I'm shading her or whatever like that. Like I said, apparently she's a great actress. That's good. But I don't know. It just is not, she's not giving Storm. And it is going to look like she's cosplaying as her instead of just being her. Or you can't help not look past the fact that, oh, this is the iconic, Cynthia Erivo playing as Storm. It's how I felt with Catherine Zeta-Jones in the Wednesday movie, being cast as Morticia Addams. Now, she's also a great actress, but the fact that her fame is reached to a certain peak where it just feels like she's cosplaying as Morticia Addams, and I don't see Morticia. I see Catherine Zeta-Jones playing as Morticia. And that's like I said, it's not confirmed, nothing's, signed or anything like that. It's just throwing the name out there. But but Cynthia Erivo, this you can't do it. This, bottom line, you just cannot do it. And hopefully nobody even will be wiser for it and tell her, like, don't try. And it's not stopping her from auditioning, but she shouldn't be considered at all. But yeah, that was just my quick thoughts. I just wanted to express that because it's kind of a weird casting, or at least weird thing that she tried to throw out there, trying to, convince us that she's a good fit. No, you're just hot priority right now. And that's how I feel about Pedro Pascal. It's like being cast as Reed Richards. This dude is almost in everything. He doesn't need the role as Reed Richards. Not saying he won't do a good job. Clearly, he has the acting capabilities to pull it off. But it's just he doesn't, give that look of Reed Richards. Anyway, I will see you guys in a little bit because I got at least one more video I just want to talk about. It's going to be relatively quick, but let me know in the comments below what you think of Cynthia Erivo's practically begging to be Storm. Because is that sound right to you? Because clearly most people on the internet do not agree. They don't want her as Storm. One dude's like, please keep away from Storm. Do not go anywhere near. People are very protective. It's not just black people. People in general are very protective of this Marvel character. And just to have somebody like Cynthia Erivo, this weird woman, even she should be laughed out of the room if she tries. Because yeah, sorry, sweetheart, that's a no. But anyway, yeah, that was just my quick thoughts. I don't know who definitely should play as Storm, but like I said, your best bet, and obviously more beneficial for the MCU, is just cast some relatively unknowns into these roles and just let them grow into it, because this is like a 10-year contract they'll be signing up for. Cynthia will be darn near 40 in a couple of years. She would not fit into this. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great weekend.